What is up, Legends? Welcome back to Legends Nexus, where we break down all the biggest plays and biggest stories in the esports world. We're kicking things off today with an absolute barnburner from the LCK 2025 playoffs. Get a load of this. GenG versus KT, Game 2, and it was Kiin who came out swinging, putting on an absolute clinic to tie up the series. This was a must-win for GenG, and Kiin delivered. But the drama doesn't stop there. We saw HLE facing off against T1, and Viper unleashed his Smolder to absolutely torch T1, not only qualifying HLE for the World Championship, but also sending T1 to the lower bracket. This was a series that had massive implications for both teams' World Championship dreams. And speaking of HLE versus T1, we're rewinding to Game 2, where Peanut made a triumphant return, restoring faith for HLE and dismantling T1 with a performance that screamed, "Old Peanut is back." This game set the stage for their eventual dominance and put T1 on the ropes. It all started with Game 1 of that pivotal HLE versus T1 series, where HLE surged to victory, showing incredible form and giving themselves a crucial early advantage in their quest for World Championship qualification. Stick around for all the details, and make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell on so you never miss a moment. Kiin's masterclass secures GenG series tie. In a pivotal Game 2 of the LCK 2025 playoffs, GenG found themselves in a must-win situation against KT, and it was none other than Kiin who stepped up in a monumental way, dominating the game to secure a crucial series tie. This victory is vital for GenG's World Championship aspirations and prevents them from being sent to the lower bracket. The Rise versus Cassiopeia matchup was a key element, with both champions scaling into the late game, making early advantages paramount. GenG executed a perfect lane swap early on, putting pressure on KT's bot lane and allowing Kiin to farm and even survive a daring 1v3 dive. This positioned Kiin to carry the game for GenG despite GenG's early leads and Kiin's exceptional play. KT fought back fiercely, making every team fight incredibly close. GenG managed to secure crucial drakes, eventually obtaining the Infernal Soul, and capitalized on a mistake by KT to secure 4 kills, closing out the game. However, questions linger for GenG. While they secured the win, the impact of star players Canyon and Chovy seemed subdued compared to their usual standards. They'll need to find their top form to face future challenges. The community is buzzing about whether GenG can regain their peak performance. But the LCK drama is far from over. Stay tuned as we dive into a match where a single champion's power threatened to end a dynasty. Viper's Smolder ignites HLE's World Championship berth. HLE has officially secured their spot in the World Championship after a dominant 3-0 sweep against T1 in the LCK 2025 playoffs. The series finale saw Viper's Smolder become the ultimate game-changer, a pick that proved too much for T1 to overcome. This victory means HLE advances to the upper bracket final against KT, while T1 faces a daunting path through the lower bracket. The strategic pick of Smolder was HLE's answer to T1's perceived strengths, aiming to stall the game until the champion reached its powerful late-game potential. Viper masterfully piloted Smolder, delaying T1's victory and ultimately enabling HLE's frontline to secure the win. A critical moment came during a tense fight for the Chemtech Drake, where Viper, despite being outnumbered, managed to steal the objective, providing HLE with the crucial time needed for Smolder to scale. The esports community is abuzz with HLE's flawless qualification, celebrating Viper's clutch performance. T1, on the other hand, faces immense pressure to regroup and fight for their World Championship lives in the lower bracket. And what a journey it's been. We've seen clutch plays and nail-biting finishes, but next, we revisit a game where one player's resurgence reignited a team's hope. Peanut's redemption arc powers HLE over T1. HLE has taken a commanding 1-0 lead in their critical LCK playoff series against T1, thanks to a spectacular Game 2 performance that saw Peanut return to his dominant form. This victory puts HLE one step closer to the World Championship and leaves T1 in a precarious position, teetering on the edge of the lower bracket. The draft phase was a masterclass from HLE, who picked champions that perfectly countered T1's strategy, particularly Viper's Ziggs, which created immense pressure on T1's bot lane duo. Peanut was the undisputed star of the early game, orchestrating plays across the map and securing significant gold leads for HLE. His early game dominance was so profound that T1 struggled to find any footing. Despite a desperate Baron attempt by T1, HLE's advantage proved insurmountable. Viper's Ziggs continued to control team fights, and HLE's consistent Drake control, culminating in securing Mountain Soul, made them too tanky for T1 to break through. The community is hailing Peanut's performance as a sign of HLE's return to their LCK Cup championship form. But before we look ahead, let's go back to where this intense series began, with HLE making a powerful statement right out of the gate. HLE's dominant start shocks T1 in Game 1. In the opening game of their LCK playoff series, HLE delivered a stunning performance against T1, securing a decisive victory that gives them a significant advantage in their quest for World Championship qualification. This win signals that HLE might be back to their championship contending form at the perfect time. T1's draft, built around engage and frontline compositions, hinged on Gumayusi carrying from his Kaisa pick. However, HLE's superior execution and team fighting proved to be the difference maker. HLE consistently outplayed T1 in skirmishes, securing objectives like the second Drake through Peanut's timely smite steal and punishing T1 in side lanes. Throughout the team fights, HLE managed to create multiple threats that T1 struggled to deal with, despite Gumayusi's heroic efforts to defend their Nexus. This early momentum and dominant team fighting performance have put the league on notice that HLE is a serious contender once again. The community is excited by HLE's resurgence. What an incredible start to the playoffs. We've seen clutch plays and dominant performances, and the road to Worlds is heating up. What a wild ride through the LCK playoffs. We saw Kiin put on a show for GenG against KT, Viper's Smolder secure HLE's World Championship spot against T1, Peanut's resurgence lead HLE to victory in Game 2, and HLE's dominant Game 1 start. Don't forget to like this video if you love the action, subscribe to Legends Nexus for all your esports breakdowns, hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, drop a comment letting us know your favorite play, and follow us on all our socials to stay connected. We'll see you in the next one.